of information about them on the internet. This time, I'm gonna ask something never asked before, hopefully.
So, at first, we, including I think tens of millions of students in the world, would like to know the path to become a cryptographer.
Well, some people want to be a fireman when they grow up, and some people want to be a mathematician. I think it helps to like solve puzzles. If you enjoy thinking about like what is the solution to something, how do you fix something, how do you make something work, why doesn't something work, then that's what mathematics is about. And that's what happens in cryptography, where cryptography you're worried that somebody's going to be attacking the system, and they're trying to solve puzzles. They're trying to figure out how can they get into the system, how can they find a weakness and explore the possible attack surface and find some way in and find some way to steal your secrets or change your data. And well, when you're trying to defend the system, you have to think about all of those puzzles that they're faced with and make sure that the puzzles are too hard for them to solve. And that's what cryptography is about.
Mm.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's a satisfying area where you feel like you have a real impact. I mean, if you like mathematics, if you like computer science, algorithms is a good way to get into it. And I was amused by you saying that we're keeping low profile. I mean, the thing about cryptography is that we're supposed to keep low profile. The only reason that we're ever in the news is if something goes wrong. And we don't want things to go wrong. So cryptography is supposed to just work, take a step back, and not be seen. It's just there.
So I think it's like a sense of mission, and also the sense of mission is like a invisible hero. Can I say that? It's like keep a very low profile, but you actually have such great impact and contribution to like the whole technology world.
When people are building bridges, then of course they want the bridges to hold up and be solid and make sure the bridges never fall down. And of course they get in the news if the bridges fall down, which is very bad. But at least people see the bridges that they're driving on. And cryptography, yeah, it's more behind the scenes. It's something where if cryptography is working, then nobody sees it.
I see. So if someone want to like explore the career possibility, for example, there are some students who are going to like attend a forum and who may want to be a cryptographer. I'm kind of curious about like a day in the life of a cryptographer. Like maybe it may depend, but in your case, it's always gaining a sense of achievement and the passion for math, especially after dying into the world of math for maybe forever, for good. Are they required if they are going to like want to become a cryptographer?
So both of us have a background in mathematics, but in general, when you look around in cryptography, you see a mix of areas. So it's in the intersection of mathematics, computer science, but there's also a large portion which have an electrical engineering background. And so that those are very good backgrounds. If you kind of want to go straight shooting, then math, computer science, or like engineering are the typical ones. What do we do normally? So there's a mix of things. Dan already mentioned constructing new things and trying to solve all puzzles that an attacker would do. Now, you don't build a new crypto system every day. You have an idea and then you spend quite a while on thinking about it, making it faster, making it more secure. But there's also a lot of looking at the literature, looking at new papers coming out, either seeing them as new targets or looking at them to learn from it. So that's kind of typical scientist approach, except for I think we're a little bit more adversarial. So you mentioned post-quantum cryptography and standardization. So when the standardization project with NIST started, NIST posted 69 submissions, and the same night we stayed up late trying to break some. One of our students was the first to break one at all, and by the end, before going to bed, which was pretty late, like 3 a.m, because we were really excited and kept going, we had broken another one. And I think in normal science papers, you kind of consider whether the other party has made an error. But in cryptography, we're kind of a lot more adversarial and trying to find ways to get into other people's systems, not as in hacking and finding buffer overflows as much as in security, but in trying to figure out whether they made an obvious mistake or maybe a less obvious mistake.
I see. So I was wondering about driving force, like the rationale.
Yeah, for me, I'm really driven by examples of large-scale attackers who did bad things. I mean, there's all sorts of interesting historical examples of what happened when, for example, the Chinese government was spying on people, and it really caused problems for society, which I do think cryptography has some ability to help people communicate with each other and be comfortable that they can communicate securely. And for me, I'm really driven by those examples of, like, here are bad things that happened because communication was not secure. And then when communication becomes secure, then hopefully that helps society a little bit.
I see. So I'm really curious about the turning points that decided to devote your life to cryptography, because I know Dr. Daly used to be a developer in more system level developer.
So for me, it was a lot more gradual. So I started as a mathematician, liked algorithms, got into kind of computational number theory. Then I did my PhD thesis in an area which I thought at that point was cryptography. If I now look back, it was mostly mathematics with some crypto flavor. And so from there, I actually got more exposed to what's happening in the real world and found it fascinating and really enjoyed doing it, and was like, yeah, that is a topic I like. So, I mean, I'm still doing mathematics. There's still some papers every once in a while which have a more mathematical flavor, but I think applications to the real world is what makes me really tick.
I see.
And for me, what I like doing in general in my research is making things go faster, which has different applications. Some of those are outside cryptography. Inside cryptography, sometimes cryptography is just too slow, and then making it faster means sometimes that people can afford to use it. And so I like taking software and making the software go faster, which there's always new things to do. As you were mentioning before, there are a lot of people who are moving knowledge forward. There are thousands of people who are active cryptographers, and some of those people are working on making things faster. So there's always interesting new ideas for making cryptography faster. And then sometimes I see something new, and so I'm writing software which goes faster than the previous software.
So it's like enable usability and security to go hand in hand. I see. So is there any vision, like your vision,
Well,
besides the things that you're working on now?
I mean, the long-term goal, we make our pieces secure. But the problem is often that you have a secure piece and then somebody else has a secure piece, and then the gluing points are actually not secure. Or the math is secure, but the implementation is not secure. So the long-term goal, the long-term vision is to build actually secure systems. Now, if you have a small enough system, or if you pay enough, you might have this. But I would like to have people on the internet be secure. I would like to have computers connecting over the internet use security properly. I would like to have your phone messenger app, say Signal or whatever you're using, to be secured. And that's a much, much bigger shot.
I see. I think both of you are working really hard on open source.
Yeah, open source has the advantage that it can go into browsers, for example, and it gets widely deployed. Where if right now when you connect to an HTTPS website, then the S is using some cryptography. It's supposed to mean secure. People have made some mistakes, but hopefully HTTPS is secure. And then that's using open source cryptography that's built into the web browsers.
I see. Okay. So is there anything you want to tell those who are going to attend the forum?
Yeah, I mean, So the forum is focusing on the post-quantum area, and this, if you look back some years, it felt a little bit niche. So we had the first conference in 2006, which was like 40-something people. But by the early 2010s, it's grown to a very large area within cryptography. And by now it's clear that all cryptography in the not too distant future has to be post-quantum. So anything which needs security, and therefore cryptography as its foundation, needs to move to post-quantum cryptography. And so one of the things we want to talk about in the forum is how does it work? What are the changes that you will see? I mean, we're not going to give you a math lecture, but we're going to show you the impacts of how these systems are different, what you will need to do in order to migrate those systems. And well, there are some things which are less convenient, which is why people haven't quite yet switched, but also how we can deal with this. I mean, you're actually slated to give a talk on migration, so maybe.
Yeah, there are many interesting stages from getting from a cryptographic idea all the way to getting something deployed. There's tons of research and development that happens in between that. And a lot of those stages really have to do something different because of the threat of quantum computers. So yeah, I'll be giving a talk specifically about migration. And then there's part of that is the general approach of how do you handle moving from an older cryptographic system to something newer and stronger. And then there are many interesting questions about the specifics of how do you get particular cryptographic systems upgraded to post-quantum cryptography.
I see. I think it's really informative, and I think it's really, that is feel like really excited about the forum, and I hope that those who are going to attend the forum can have something in mind before they attend the forum. And personal question, okay, thanks so much. Thank you, Tanja. Thank you, Daniel. And I hope you have a good day, have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, thank you.